In 1949, Novel Vision Studios makes a grand announcement about the production of the most expensive movie ever made. This cinematic venture, hailed as an unparalleled spectacle, captures the collective imagination of film enthusiasts worldwide. Robert Donnelly, recognized as one of the most accomplished directors globally, unveils the cast, sparking excitement and curiosity among eager audiences. However, amid all the grandeur, a crucial piece of the puzzle is yet to be placed: the lead actor. Christopher Leonard, a talented actor, finds himself standing at a crossroads in his career. A series of disheartening failures have left his dreams of stardom hanging by a thread. When news of auditions for Novel Vision Studios' audacious project reaches him, he sees it as his last chance to reclaim the spotlight. Christopher, known for his unwavering dedication to his artistry, is determined to go to extraordinary lengths to secure the role of a lifetime. Christopher approaches Robert with a bold proposition. He asks for a month's leeway to exhibit his skills for the pivotal lead role, portraying a psychopath. Robert, feeling the urgency to wrap up the auditions as the shooting date approaches, initially holds a skeptical stance. He points out that he has already narrowed down the choices to two potential actors for the lead role, and emphasizes the inability to postpone the decision for an entire month. Desperation and hope reflect in Christopher's eyes as he passionately pleads his case. He conveys that this role is the turning point he so desperately needs, a chance to prove his mettle as an actor. He requires the time to meticulously prepare and immerse himself in the character of the psycho. The director, hesitantly, agrees to give him an opportunity, granting Christopher 2 weeks to sharpen his skills and deliver a performance that could potentially resurrect his career. Having secured this invaluable opportunity, Christopher dives into his preparation with unwavering commitment. He knows he cannot squander this chance and is determined to leave no stone unturned. His journey commences with an immersive exploration of psychological and serial killer movies, meticulously dissecting every performance, nuance, and gesture of actors who have portrayed such characters. He delves into chilling biographies of psychopaths and watches countless interviews of real psycho killers, studying their mannerisms, expressions, and speech patterns. His dedication extends to visits to nearby psychiatric hospitals, where he keenly observes patients, attempting to fathom the intricate depths of the human mind. Christopher's quest for authenticity is relentless. He leaves no room for compromise in his pursuit of perfection. He isolates himself in a dimly lit room for hours on end, rehearsing the expressions, gestures, and body language of the character. The walls echo with his chilling laughter and the haunting whispers of his lines. He becomes consumed by the role, pushing the boundaries of his own sanity to capture the essence of a psychopath. During this intense period of preparation, Christopher's personal life fades into the background. He skips meals, cancels social engagements, and loses track of time, all in the name of his art. Finally, after 10 grueling days of preparation, Christopher is ready. He has immersed himself so deeply into the character that the lines between reality and fiction have become blurred. He appears before the director, Robert Donnelly, for the crucial audition. Robert, with a sense of anticipation, watches as Christopher transforms into the character he has worked so tirelessly to embody. The actor's performance is nothing short of mesmerizing. He portrays the psycho with bone-chilling authenticity, sending shivers down the director's spine. As he delivers his lines, his eyes exude a malevolence that is truly haunting. Spellbound by the actor's prowess, Robert realizes that not even a real psychopath could play the part better than Christopher. The audition becomes a revelation, a moment where art transcends reality. With unshakable certainty, the director makes a resolute decision. He cancels the final auditions with the shortlisted actors and declares Christopher Leonard as the lead actor for the groundbreaking movie. The announcement of Christopher securing the lead role ignites, like wildfire, unleashing shockwaves throughout the industry. The role, for which he has fought with unwavering passion, is now firmly in his grasp, a golden opportunity to shine on the grandest stage. As the production commences, the film's cast and crew are in awe of Christopher's dedication and commitment to his role. He brings a unique depth to the character, a depth that can only be achieved through the kind of relentless preparation and obsession he has undertaken. His performance on set is nothing short of extraordinary, as he continues to embody the chilling persona of the psycho with uncanny precision. Robert comes to Christopher with a letter that carries the government's permission to visit a specialized mental asylum. The permission is granted to aid Christopher in perfecting his acting skills for the role. With this letter in hand, Christopher can visit the asylum during the shooting period, allowing him to observe and understand the nuances of his character in a more profound way. Christopher diligently goes through the script of the movie, making notes and preparing himself mentally for the challenging journey ahead. He recognizes that his character requires a deep understanding of the inner workings of a psychopathic mind, and he is determined to deliver a performance that transcends the ordinary. As the shooting progresses, Christopher takes advantage of the off days to visit the specialized mental asylum. It is during these visits that he meets Dr. Lucy Edward, a seasoned psychiatric doctor who guides him through his exploration of the patients and their histories. Under Dr. Lucy's guidance, Christopher learns the necessary acting techniques and psychological nuances required for the upcoming shoots. He engages in conversations with the patients, seeking to understand the root causes of their conditions, their fears, and their darkest thoughts. These interactions serve as a wellspring of inspiration for Christopher, enabling him to delve deeper into the psyche of his character. Months pass, and the shooting of the movie is finally completed. Although the government's permission to visit the specialized mental asylum has expired, Christopher continues to visit Dr. Lucy regularly. The next year arrives, and the much-anticipated movie is released to the world. The film takes the global box office by storm, quickly becoming a colossal hit. It exceeds all expectations, and audiences are enthralled by the performances, the storytelling, and the uncanny portrayal of a psychopath by Christopher Leonard. The film transcends borders and language barriers, captivating audiences in various parts of the world. It receives critical acclaim, wins numerous awards, and earns Christopher the Best Actor honor at all major award ceremonies. The movie's success is not just a financial triumph, but also a testament to the power of dedication and immersion in one's craft. It is a reminder that when an actor is willing to go to extraordinary lengths to achieve authenticity, the result can be a cinematic masterpiece that resonates with audiences on a global scale. A slew of movie offers pour in from acclaimed directors, signaling a new era of stability and stardom for Christopher. His joy knows no bounds as he basks in the adulation of his ever-growing legion of fans. In 1953, Robert approaches Christopher with a sequel to their groundbreaking movie. Christopher welcomes this opportunity wholeheartedly, eager to revisit the iconic character that catapulted him to stardom. The prospect of a sequel generates immense buzz among movie lovers, who eagerly anticipate the next chapter in the psychopath story. Robert, however, is not content with merely replicating their earlier success. He raises the stakes, crafting a narrative filled with even more challenging and daring scenes, pushing the boundaries of storytelling and filmmaking. As the second movie's shooting commences, Christopher once again receives permission to enter the specialized mental asylum, renewing his connection with Dr. Lucy Edward. The two had been out of touch for a few years due to their busy schedules, and their reunion is marked by shared enthusiasm. Dr. Lucy introduces Christopher to Lawrence Spencer, a new patient from the serene town of Sixmaltown. Lawrence, an elderly man, leads a secluded existence following the passing of his wife, bereft of children to fill the void. He shuns interactions with neighbors, dedicating the majority of his time within the confines of his home and cultivation in his backyard. Lawrence has established himself as an expert in crafting new varieties of bonsai that serve as his primary source of income through sales to distributors. Uninterested in guests or visits, Lawrence has created a cocoon of solitude around him. As Halloween festivities envelop the town, Lawrence stands in stark contrast, choosing the calm of his home over the spirited celebrations. Meanwhile, a group of mischievous kids, donned in terrifying costumes and armed with props, embark on a plan to scare Lawrence. Each child assumes a different frightening role, crafting a storyline so realistic that Lawrence falls victim to a cardiac arrest. Swiftly, neighbors transport Lawrence to a nearby hospital. Physically recovering from the heart problem, Lawrence remains mentally fragile. The kids and their parents extend heartfelt apologies, but Lawrence maintains a stoic silence. After undergoing a month-long treatment to stabilize his mental health, Lawrence returns home, disheartened to find his bonsai plants have withered. Despite visits from concerned neighbors inquiring about his well-being, Lawrence remains reticent. His disappointment and silence become palpable as he withdraws into his home, abstaining from his usual activities. One evening, Lawrence emerges for a walk, his appearance altered with a wild beard and unkempt hair. A small child, startled by his changed demeanor, scampers back to the safety of his home. This encounter triggers a disturbing shift in Lawrence's already fragile psyche. Under the shroud of darkness, Lawrence assumes a malevolent guise, materializing outside the windows of children's bedrooms. Draped in a horrifying outfit, he sparks terror in the hearts of unsuspecting youngsters. Initially brushed off as mere dreams or illusions, the persistent grievances from kids to parents elevate the town's recognition of a real menace. Driven by his newfound psychosis, Lawrence focuses his revenge on the kids who had terrified him on Halloween, meticulously studying their daily routines. He plans his retaliation. Identifying a kid left alone at home, Lawrence exploits the situation to instill fear, leaving the child traumatized. His acts of revenge continue, each one more sinister than the last, until police officers catch him red-handed. Subsequent examinations by doctors reveal the extent of Lawrence's psychosis, leading to his admission to the specialized mental asylum. Christopher, gaining insights into Lawrence's disturbed mind and erratic behavior, finds inspiration for his portrayal of the psychopathic character in the sequel. The following day, Robert reveals the most challenging scene in the entire movie, a continuous 9-minute shot depicting a serial killing sequence. This scene is designed to send shivers down the audience's spines, and the crew is prepared to put in extraordinary efforts to make it a spectacle. The shooting of this sequence proves to be an arduous task, with 117 takes over 5 days, yet the desired output remains elusive. The scene requires Christopher to seamlessly transition between multiple personalities during a relentless chase through a small lake resort in a dense forest. He must mirror the emotions of the people he is about to kill just before he takes their lives. The director grows increasingly disheartened, contemplating the possibility of truncating the scene due to its impracticality. However, Christopher, feeling a sense of responsibility and wanting to prove himself, expresses his determination to make it work in the next take. With the unwavering support of the entire crew, they embark on the daunting task once more. Commencing the next take, Christopher astounds everyone with his performance. He seamlessly transitions between personas, mirroring the emotions of his soon-to-be victims, creating a chillingly realistic portrayal. The director, Robert, cannot contain his excitement as he exclaims, "Perfect," and rushes toward Christopher to congratulate him for his splendid performance. But what happens next leaves everyone in shock and disbelief. Christopher's behavior begins to change, mirroring Robert's personality with eerie accuracy. Initially, the crew members think Christopher is playfully impersonating the director. However, the unexpected takes a sinister turn. In a shocking twist, Christopher, in the span of a few seconds, turns from mimicking Robert to killing him. The members of the crew who rush to Robert's aid are met with a similar fate, as Christopher effortlessly shifts between their expressions and, one by one, dispatches them. Despite their efforts to restrain him, Christopher becomes increasingly stronger, resisting all attempts to subdue him. Panic and chaos engulf the movie set, which is located deep in the forest. The remaining cast and crew flee for their lives. As the night falls over the dense forest, a deadly game of cat and mouse unfolds, with Christopher relentlessly chasing down those who are left behind. His transformation from the character initially created by Robert has now evolved into something far more sinister. He is no longer portraying a psychopath. He has become one. The forest is shrouded in darkness, and the situation has reached a critical point. Many people who had access to vehicles managed to escape earlier, leaving behind those who are now trapped in the woods. The stranded individuals find hiding spots in the hope of evading Christopher's relentless pursuit. Suddenly, Christopher springs a surprise on those who believe they are safe. He takes on the guise of a normal person, seemingly offering help to a crew member. Their shared relief quickly gives way to terror, as Christopher's behavior takes a sudden and ominous turn. He mirrors the emotions of his unsuspecting victim, who realizes the horrifying truth too late. The darkness of the forest becomes a theater of horror as Christopher kills with chilling precision. His instinctive knack to switch between personas, mirroring the emotions of those he hunts, demonstrates the full extent of his transformation. He has evolved into an extreme version of both an actor and a psychopath, a monstrous hybrid of artistry and malevolence. Only a few individuals manage to escape the relentless serial killing spree, fleeing to nearby towns to seek safety and report the harrowing events to the authorities. The police and military launch an extensive search operation, combing the forest for any trace of Christopher Leonard. For a week, they meticulously investigate every nook and cranny, but the forest remains shrouded in silence, offering no clues about the whereabouts of the man who was once a celebrated actor. The news of this nightmare serial killing spree sends shockwaves throughout the world, a reminder that the line between art and reality can blur in the most terrifying and unexpected ways. The enigma of Christopher's transformation into a true psychopath remains one of the darkest and most perplexing mysteries in cinematic history. The first part of his psycho thriller movie has been banned from telecasting and screening everywhere, as it is believed that it might inspire individuals to follow in Christopher's footsteps. As a year passes, there are no reports or sightings of Christopher. However, this eerie silence continues until one fateful day when a village wakes up to a cacophony of cries and distress. Numerous individuals meet a gruesome fate in various corners of the village, unleashing waves of terror across neighboring communities. It becomes evident that a serial killer is on the loose, prompting authorities to issue warnings and advice for everyone to remain cautious and stay indoors. Arriving at the crime scenes, Dr. Lucy notices that the serial killer seems to be replicating a pattern reminiscent of a patient from the specialized mental asylum. The investigating officers harbor suspicions that the patient escaped the asylum the previous night and committed the crime. However, upon thorough investigation, no evidence supports this theory. The patient within the asylum did not make any attempt to escape or establish contact with the outside world. Despite authorities questioning the patient's family and close associates, they remain devoid of any relevant information. The investigation hits a frustrating dead end, with no leads to follow. However, 2 weeks later, similar incidents begin to occur in different locations, each following the pattern of a different patient from the same asylum. Fear spreads like wildfire as people become afraid to venture out alone. Forensic reports eventually lead investigators to a grim revelation. Christopher is the mastermind behind these serial killings. He is continuing the unfinished work of each patient from the asylum. As the fear intensifies, a peculiar phenomenon emerges. Numerous gruesome murders are mistakenly linked to Christopher, with opportunistic psychopaths exploiting the situation to carry out their own missions, aiming to shift blame onto him. Amidst the chaos, authorities promptly discern that Christopher is not responsible for all the serial killings. With advances in forensic science and a global manhunt, the true culprits behind these crimes are easily tracked down and apprehended. They are unable to elude justice, and the legal system deals with them appropriately. While other serial killers are captured and their reigns of terror are brought to an end, Christopher remains an enigma, skillfully evading capture and perpetuating his chilling legacy as the one serial killer who could not be caught. On a Halloween day, Christopher drives a bus adorned with Halloween decorations into Sixmaltown, the town where Lawrence had lived. The public square pulses with the lively energy of Halloween festivities, as nearly everyone dons a variety of costumes. Notably, the same costume once used by Lawrence to instill fear in children is now a common sight among the revelers. The bus, labeled the Halloween Express, entices many kids with its festive decorations. Inside, a myriad of spooky themes awaits the children for their enjoyment. Christopher takes a group of excited kids on a joy ride through the town. Once he deems the bus has enough young passengers, he forgoes stopping at any particular place. Instead, donning a mask, he releases a sleeping gas, lulling the children into a tranquil slumber. Christopher whisks them away to a hidden location. At first glance, the house appears normal from the outside, camouflaging the horrors within. The kids, unsuspecting victims, are compelled to navigate through each terrifying room in a desperate bid for escape. However, the twisted reality of the house unfolds, with no true means of liberation. The structure is a labyrinth of twists and loops, designed to confound and disorient. As the news of the missing children spreads throughout Sixmaltown, a pervasive sense of confusion envelopes the community. The local police launch a thorough investigation. The town is gripped by fear and worry for the well-being of the abducted kids. 2 days after the harrowing incident, Christopher sends chilling photographs depicting the ominous location where the captive children are held. The revelation injects a renewed urgency into the police efforts. Racing against time, law enforcement mobilizes to the site indicated by Christopher and rescues the traumatized youngsters. The relentless pursuit of Christopher becomes a haunting and enduring chapter in the annals of crime investigation, an unsolved mystery that perplexes law enforcement agencies and lingers in the collective consciousness of the world. As the years pass and the intervals between his activities grow longer, the world can only wonder if, and when, he will re-emerge from the shadows once again. Tranquility settles over Earth following Christopher's last incident in 1980, and for a decade, no further disturbances arise. Christopher is now 74 years old, and the world speculates that he may have retired from his gruesome activities due to his advanced age. The global investigation agencies in the 1990s harnessed the latest technology to locate Christopher. He is discovered in a remote, uninhabited location and subsequently sent to trial. His health exhibits a pronounced state of feebleness. The extensive history of serial killing cases and other heinous deeds linked to him is finally closed. Recognizing the global threat posed by keeping him alive in a secure prison, Christopher is sentenced to death by electrocution. This verdict marks the culmination of the fear and terror that had gripped the world in the 20th century, and people of the 21st century can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The final day of the 20th century has arrived, and it is destined to be Christopher's last day alive, ensuring that he will not live to see the dawn of the new century. The world is consumed by a mix of anticipation for the new century and the imminent execution of Christopher. The electrocution procedure is set in motion, and he is led into the chamber where the ominous electric chair awaits him. Strapped to the chair, Christopher braces for the inevitable execution that looms ahead. With just an hour remaining until the new century arrives. The electrocution process is initiated. A powerful electric shock courses through Christopher's body, and within a minute, he breathes his last. A collective sense of relief and celebration sweeps across the world, as it is believed that the menace of Christopher has finally come to an end. However, moments after his execution, Christopher's lifeless body is taken to an examination room for further inspection by a doctor. The doctor, using a stethoscope, listens for any signs of life and is initially perplexed. He believes he has misheard, as the heart appears to beat for just a single second. Intrigued and concerned, the doctor holds the stethoscope in place for a full minute. To his astonishment, he witnesses a sudden heartbeat. He calls a nearby nurse to corroborate his findings, and she confirms that the heart indeed beats once in the 58th second. Tension starts to mount among the medical staff as they grapple with this inexplicable turn of events. They hastily place an ECG to monitor the intervals between each heartbeat, and they observe a rapid reduction in these intervals. The alarmed doctor notifies the security officers and other officials who had been preparing for Christopher's funeral. Initially, they find the situation absurd and laugh it off, but their amusement turns to shock as they witness the strange phenomenon. As the intervals between the heartbeats continue to shrink, Christopher's body starts to tremble. Fearing the unknown, the officers secure him to the bed. Just when it seems that his heartbeat has returned to normal, the ECG abruptly signals a flatline, signifying the cessation of the heartbeat. Christopher's lifeless body lies still, and a collective sigh of relief passes through the room. The moment the clock strikes midnight, marking the beginning of the 21st century, a shocking and cataclysmic event unfolds. The ECG machine connected to Christopher bursts, and he suddenly awakens, breaking free from his restraints. Electricity radiates from his body, and anyone who touches him is violently thrown aside by the immense power coursing through him. Security officers open fire in an attempt to subdue him, but their efforts are futile. Christopher has risen with newfound superpowers, impervious to bullets and harm. He swiftly dispatches anyone who stands in his way and escapes the scene. The once retired psychopath has returned with unimaginable power, turning the first celebration of the 21st century into a nightmarish catastrophe. With no sign of Christopher after the escape, many assume that he might have met his demise, unable to withstand the immense power he had harnessed. Within a landscape dominated by towering mountains, a massive tunnel links two vibrant cities, acting as a crucial conduit for the movement of vehicles and commuters. On a busy day, Christopher, now imbued with superpowers, chose this very tunnel as a stage for his sinister exhibition. Positioning himself near the tunnel's entrance, he is wielding his newfound abilities to violently demolish the opening on one end. The sound of crumbling concrete and rocks is echoing through the mountains, and panic is ensuing as vehicles screech to a halt. Chaos erupts as the dust settles, revealing the magnitude of destruction Christopher has wrought. Christopher propels himself through the tunnel. His telekinetic prowess clearing a path as he approaches the other end. With a malevolent grin, he repeats the destructive spectacle, sealing the tunnel's exit and trapping numerous innocent souls within. Fear grips their hearts as they confront the daunting reality of being confined in the mountainous tomb. Meanwhile, Christopher revels in the chaos he has unleashed. His sadistic pleasure intensifies as he senses a collective terror within the tunnel. Floating in midair, he observes the quivering individuals seeking ways to escape and relishes the fear emanating from the trapped victims. Outside the tunnel, emergency services are scrambling to the scene, facing the monumental challenge of clearing the wreckage. The destruction is so extensive that it will take hours, if not days, to remove the debris and free those trapped within. The mountainous terrain adds an extra layer of complexity to the rescue efforts, prolonging the agony for the victims. After an agonizing 36 hours, a glimmer of relief surfaces. Emergency crews, battling against time and the treacherous terrain, manage to clear the debris at one end of the tunnel. As the path opens, survivors are staggering out, their faces etched with the trauma of the harrowing ordeal. Christopher escapes along with the group. The formerly ordinary passageway had turned into a haunting symbol of terror. A significant number of survivors now struggle with claustrophobia. News reporters have dubbed Christopher Superpsycho, encapsulating the extraordinary and perilous nature of his return. Armed with superpowers, he orchestrates fear in various global regions, prompting governments worldwide to form a dedicated task force. This specialized unit employs advanced technology in relentless attempts to capture Christopher, who continually eludes their grasp. During a close encounter, the task force almost apprehends Christopher, but he narrowly escapes. Following this near capture, Christopher, displaying a strategic pause, refrains from further actions. This strategic decision stems from an acute awareness of the potential consequences if caught again. The world watches with bated breath as governments mobilize resources to contain this unprecedented threat. 1 year passes, and the world remains on edge, uncertain about the fate of the unstoppable Superpsycho. It is during this period of tension and ambiguity that Christopher makes a sudden and shocking reappearance. He launches a daring attack on the secret psychiatry research center hidden deep within the Western Ghats, a remote and treacherous location that is home to some of the world's most notorious and highly dangerous psychopaths. Within the center, scientists have been conducting groundbreaking research to gain a deeper understanding of the unstable human mind. The official records of the patients housed here indicate that they are deceased, but in reality, they serve as subjects for experiments and research. Christopher's arrival at the research center is a cataclysmic event. With his superpowers, he wreaks havoc, facilitating the notorious psychopaths within to escape. These psychopaths quickly align themselves with their enigmatic liberator, Christopher, who becomes their leader. Together, they embark on a campaign of terror in broad daylight, sending shockwaves across the globe. The specialized task force is mobilized, attempting numerous times to eliminate the group and restore order. Yet, Christopher's extraordinary abilities, coupled with the backing of his cohorts, prove challenging to restrain. The world teeters on the brink of unending chaos as the task force struggles to regain control. It is in one fateful confrontation that Christopher faces a turning point. Trapped within a chamber designed to absorb and dissipate his formidable energy, he becomes weakened and falls to the ground. A dedicated doctor who had been researching recovery treatments for psychopaths seizes this opportunity. With a calculated move, the doctor injects Christopher with a sleeping agent, rendering him unconscious. With Christopher incapacitated, the task force springs into action. The escaped psychopaths are tracked down, and those who resist are met with force. Many are killed in the ensuing operations, while others are captured and detained. Christopher Leonard is declared dead to the world, with the authorities announcing his demise in a public statement. The world breathes a collective sigh of relief, believing that the reign of terror had finally ended. Over the course of several years, Christopher undergoes an extensive treatment process to regain his mental stability. He is isolated in a secure research facility where scientists and psychologists study him closely. Having successfully transitioned back to normalcy, the remainder of his life is burdened by the weight of guilt resulting from the heinous acts he committed. Utilizing comprehensive data acquired through the analysis of diverse psychopathic cases at the Covert Psychiatry Research Center has led to the creation of an advanced artificial intelligence (AI) model. Employing cutting-edge algorithms and machine learning techniques, the AI model becomes adept at comprehending the distinct characteristics and nuances of each patient's condition. The treatment process involves periodic interactions between the AI system and the patient, showcasing an innovative use of technology to provide personalized and effective interventions for psychiatric patients. This development represents a significant breakthrough in the field of mental health, offering a promising pathway for the rehabilitation of individuals who once grappled with profound psychological challenges. However, a potential threat looms if this technology falls into the wrong hands, as it possesses the capability, if reprogrammed, to corrupt the minds of sane individuals, transforming them from normal humans into psychopaths.